But Chairman Bullock, you look good with them blue jeans on. Come on, tell us what you want to talk about.
I want to thank all the members of the House Ag Committee for accommodating this meeting this morning, and I do appreciate it. And it's an early meeting, I know. But the underlying bill that we originally started with, SB 152, it's a very important bill that deals with creating an agricultural commodity commission for ornamental plants. And y'all had this scheduled to be heard at your meeting earlier this week, and I had to ask the chairman if he would to pull that because there were some issues that had come up over at the department that we had to work on. And when we look at Section 1, this deals with monetary penalties, civil penalties that the department may impose. And there was a rewrite in some areas of the law back in 2004, and by oversight, it actually wrote out and changed that the department couldn't levy a civil penalty unless it was in a consent order. And so what we have done here is correct that, and the first section of that on line 27 on page 2, this just deals with a penalty prior to a hearing. Isn't that right, Wayne? And it's consent order. And then on line 35 is where a civil penalty could be imposed dealing with at a hearing in lieu of termination of license or something, that they could levy a civil penalty. And then Section 2 is dealing with what, Wayne? Okay. And in every one of them, we put in that any civil penalties, monetary payments, would have to go to the general fund of the state treasurer, even though the state law, the state constitution says that. But we put it in every one of them, and this is something to get the heartburn off the governor. Article 1 is the one that actually gives the commissioner a trademark over the Georgia Grown program that he has. Isn't that right, Wayne? Or it gives him control over it so that nobody can use it without his permission. It gives him the authority over it, and this is a concern that the department has, that there were some people that had begun using that logo in some areas that they hadn't given approval to. It's not necessarily that they were doing anything wrong, but it's just that it's the department's logo, and they felt like that they needed to have control over it. Section 4 is where we started from, and that's the original bill, is the creation of Ornamental Plants Commodity Commission, and it falls right in with the same general commodity commission law that all the other commodity commissions except equine and peanuts fall under. And Section 5 is just where there's got to be requires a balloting of that commodity commission every 3 years, which is the same thing in all of the others. Be glad to try to answer any questions on any of these issues that any member of the committee may have, Mr. Chairman.
Got any questions?
Aren't you tired of just about hearing?
You answer that?
Spirit, don't you want the power of God in your life today? I want the...
Everybody looking at Brian told her what.
I want to hear you answer the question.
I think it's Haney up there.
I know. I don't think that was the Lord speaking, even though he speaks in tongues.
Ellis?
How's that
the same way all the rest of them are, that they'll establish by rules and regs, the commission will, and they're looking at creating it based on if it's an outdoor, the only people that be involved, we're trying to deal with commercial, that so many gross dollars a year in sales, and then they would they looked at or are looking at different ways that the assessment would be, and you'll have to let somebody else answer that, Ellis.
We have some of the folks from the industry if they want to talk real quick.
The assessment is. My name is Jeff Beasley. I'm from Livonia, Georgia. It will be funded by eligible producers that fall into 4 categories. They would be ornamental growers, which would be container growers, then tree growers that grow in the field, liner producers, and then bedding and perennial growers. And then the gross sales threshold for participation would be $200,000 per year in gross sales. And the initial assessment that we're thinking is 1/10 of 1%, or $1 per thousand. In sales, in gross sales, yes. It's budget neutral. It's right. Right. The Department of Ag does have some enforcement capability.
Yes.
I think they do. Yes.
Just like with all other commodity commissions, every one of them, it falls in the same.
A lot of you others, you've got sale barns and collection side with marketing business collection.
This is not going to be that way. It's got to be just monitoring the industry itself and their gross sales.
This is going to be on their gross sales, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And the initial will be a 10th of 1%, basically.
That's yes, sir. 1/10 of 1%.
So in my county is $11,500 from Chris County and $31,000 from Judy County.
Yes.
No.
Well, that's, I was looking for gross sales.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I mean, but the growers in those counties.
Right.
That's the kind of revenue here, correct?
Well, the initial projections that we have would be about $300,000 to $400,000, because I think these estimates have included in them maybe. I don't know that. I think these estimates may include more than just the actual at the producer level. This is only going to be at the producer level.
So these are not really the gross sales from those counties.
No. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You talked about the numbers all corrected in 2004. Will this reach back and take care of anything that has been corrected since that time by the commission?
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
When you see Mr. Lieutenant,
Yeah.
I got an email at 4:51 a.m. this morning. Can you please tell me what's on the agenda this morning? So if he can get up and write an email, he can probably show up to the
Mr. Chairman, Representative England will be handling this on the House floor. And we'll report it.
Mr. Chairman, you know, city boys just had no bed before it gets far more to get better.
That may be a lot of truth to that.
The end result's all that matters, right?